moved to Canada, I actually did not know what kind of areas of practice are there. And over time, when I did the LLM and then the NCA exams, I started learning what different areas are and what does it mean to practice in each area. So today I'd like to talk about very basic, what are different practice areas in Canada. In order to practice any area of the law, whether it's corporate, commercial, you work at a bank, you work at a company, you work at a firm, you need to be licensed in the province you're working in. Oftentimes people ask me this question, well, I just want to work as an in-house lawyer. Should I get licensed? Yes. Any kind of area you practice, you have to be licensed. So let's start talking about what different areas are. First, we can talk about corporate commercial. Corporate commercial is basically dealing with company or commercial issues. So for example, when I was doing my articling, I used to work at a financial institution, which was basically dealing with corporate commercial law. Mergers and acquisitions. What happens if two companies merge? Or what happens when one company acquires another company? What happens when the company has a contract with another vendor? Reviewing contracts. So corporate commercial, primarily very simple terms. As a lawyer, you're dealing with negotiations. What is good for the company? What is not good for the company? From a legal aspect, when you're reviewing a contract, what do you have to look at? How do you protect yourself? What is the business requirement? So it is more, I guess, it's an area which is designed if you have a very strong interest in company law, which is the course that you have in law school, company law, commercial law. I thought actually that I really liked corporate commercial in the beginning, and after my articling, I realized that it was good. However, I didn't enjoy it that much. Maybe I didn't get too much experience in that area. I only worked for about 4 to 5 months. But overall, I felt that it was a little bit dry for me, but maybe it's just 5 months. I really didn't get that much experience, but I know of friends who are in this area and absolutely love it. The second area is litigation. So litigation could involve criminal law, criminal defense. It could involve personal injuries. So for example, in Canada, if somebody gets injured in an accident, what happens? Can you sue another party? Can you not sue another party? Can you go to court? Can you not go to court? From my experience, what I've noticed is that people who are litigators end up being litigators. They can't do other type of work, which is, for example, reviewing contracts or doing something else. So litigation is actually when you go to court and you have to present in front of a judge, or in other cases, for example, if it's like refugee law, it's different. But the idea in litigation is, you have a client and you're going to court, you're preparing all of that, and it's more where you speak more in front of a judge. So if you are interested in this area, it's good to actually start practicing your communication skills and, the way that you talk and the way that you convince other people. I actually did civil litigation as part of the law practice program, and we had this mock, I don't remember what it's called now, but it was a mock trial where we had to present our arguments in front of the judge and we had to examine witnesses. It was a lot of fun. But having to do it on a day-to-day basis, I felt like it was not my cup of tea. If it is yours, then you should definitely, article at a firm where they do practice civil litigation. Third, family law. So family disputes, divorce, child custody, separation issues, all of that is family law. Family law is primarily dealing with family issues. Some people really enjoy family law. Some people think that it's too much, but I actually did work at a family law firm for 3 days, and I was mostly doing some research there, but I didn't continue that job. But family law was very interesting to read, I feel like. I don't know, I've never practiced it. I don't know what it's like. But if you're interested in actually learning from different lawyers, let me know. I can try to have some lawyers in different fields on my channel and just talk to them about what is it like being that type of a lawyer. Next, you can also practice employment and labor law. Employment and labor law basically means dealing with issues related to employment. You could be you could be either working with the employer, so helping them with employment issues, termination, severance. Severance is basically, if you have to let an employee go, you have to pay them. How much is that severance going to be? Rights. So what rights do employees have? In Canada, employer-employee rights are taken very seriously, and so this is one area that could be beneficial in the sense if you are interested in employment related issues. I applied to a lot of employment firms when I wanted to article. I actually got an interview at one of the firms but didn't end up getting hired. But I feel like employment is one area that I would like to practice if I got the opportunity, but unfortunately I never did. Another area is immigration law. So that's what I practice. It is helping people move to Canada, helping businesses move to Canada, helping startups move to Canada. So immigration is a very, very interesting area of law. And I don't say that because I practice it, but generally, when you think about immigration, you may think about just helping people move. But it's a lot more there's a lot more to immigration. I can speak about immigration literally all day, but it's an area where you can help people move to Canada. You can help their businesses, like I said. If you want to study in Canada, then there's some other issues. For example, how do you deal with a person who may be inadmissible in Canada? Or like, how do you get somebody to Canada who is found to be having any sort of inadmissibility concern? So that's an area if you're interested. I practice immigration. I personally really like the area. It is very fulfilling. It can be stressful, but any area of the law I feel like can be stressful. Another area that you can practice is tax law. Tax law is dealing with tax implications. So most likely if you work for companies, understanding what tax implications are for a contract or mergers or acquisition. I did my master's in international business law, so we learned about cross-border taxation, what happens in situations where there are cross-border dealings. How do you deal with taxation? What kind of laws do you follow? Which tax law do you follow if you're dealing with companies from different parts of the world? Tax is not for me. I don't get it. I never tried to even understand it too much. It's just too much numbers, and I felt like it was very dry, but I know people who really, really like tax law. Last, you can also practice wills and estates. Wills and estates is an area where you help people write their wills. Will is a document which primarily lays down, what happens to a person's property or finances when they die. And estate, also what happens to their estate, how is the estate distributed among children, how to write a will, how to interpret a will. And also there's estates litigation. For example, if people are fighting over their parents' property, sometimes they go to court. How do you deal with that? We actually did wills and estates litigation as part of our law practice program training. Very interesting area. Also think that this was another area, if I had gotten an opportunity, I would have liked to do it. So yeah, I think that I touched on all of them. There may be more, but these are the primary areas that you can practice in Canada. I know a little bit about all of them because I did the law practice program, which actually you have to do files from each area of the law during the training component, which is the first 4 months. So it was very, very helpful. I got a taste of different files, and some files I knew I'm not going to do. And I'm not going to like it doing it full time, but hope this is helpful. Thank you for watching.